I worked as a trainee and got 300 shilling a month. I also had to give my parents 100 shilling so I could buy food. In California in 1997, there were 2 babies born 5 days apart. They both had the same dad. There should have been only one. Arnold Schwarzenegger kept this crazy secret from everyone for 14 years, even though his maid brought the child to his house every day. The boy got bigger and stronger, and he started to look just like him. For 14 years, no one said anything until Arnold finally said yes in treatment. After getting those 3 letters, the family never got over them. He was born in a small village in Austria after World War II in 1947. Gustav, his father, was the police chief in the area. He was a strict, tough man who had been through a lot in World War II. Gustav lived through 3 days of being buried alive in rubble, but he never forgot how scary it was. He took it home. Arnold grew up in a house where fear was the norm. His father made him and Meinhard, his bigger brother, fight over who would get his love. It was a test to even pick flowers for their mom. It got worse when Gustav drank. The kind of violence Arnold said broke guys all over the country, yelling and beatings. There were a lot of these in Austria. It was the standard. Arnold didn't want to live in that world, though. He wished to get away from it. He wished to become well known. He didn't just escape in his dreams. He had a job. Every day, Arnold had to do 200 sit-ups and push-ups to earn his food. He was only 4 years old. Every morning wasn't easy for him because of his dad. It did not matter if it rained or snowed. After that, there was football practice and classroom work, reports of 10 pages. Every mistake has been fixed in red. They had to write a word 50 times if it was spelled wrong. Gustav thought that stress made people stronger. Arnold's brother Meinhard broke under it, but Arnold didn't. Meinhard was the one who felt things. Smart, creative, and quiet. Meinhard, on the other hand, turned inward while Arnold tried to get out. He drank a lot. And in 1971, Meinhard died in a car accident while drunk. He was only 24 years old. In Kitzbühel, he hit a telephone pole. Arnold didn't go to the funeral because he was already in America following his dreams. A lot of people didn't get why. But Arnold later made it clear. The thing that made me who I am also broke him. Their father also died a year after Meinhard. Arnold had scars, but he wouldn't let them define who he was. Something changed when I was 14. Arnold was playing football like he always did when his coach took the team to a nearby gym near Thaler Lake. That's where Arnold saw it. Lifting weights, men shaped their bodies into pure strength. He was hooked right away. It was over for football. His life was all about iron now. He trained 6 days a week by age 15, when most people were only doing 3. He read every magazine he could find and watched all the movies with buff people in them. He was Junior Mr. Europe by the age of 18. He was the youngest Mr. Universe ever when he was 20 years old. He had not only found a new hobby, but also a way to get away. But the story wasn't just an idea. Arnold couldn't ignore the truth that was going on in the background. In 1938, his dad, Gustav, joined the Nazi Party. It was official that he was accepted in 1941. He wasn't just a member. He was the SA, the stormtroopers in brown shirts. He was a master sergeant in the Nazi military police, and were in terrible fights from Poland to Leningrad. Arnold kept quiet for a long time, but in 1990, he asked the Simon Wiesenthal Center to look into his father's past. At first, there were no reports of war crimes, but later investigations showed that Gustav was fully involved. Arnold never said he wasn't. He used it instead. As a child, he saw broken guys around him who were full of hate and violence. He spoke out against these things. Arnold did something brave for the first time when he was 19. After leaving Austria, he went to Munich. He only had a bag and a dream with him. As soon as he got off the train after 9 months of army service, he was in a whole new world. The city was huge, loud, and too much to handle. Arnold told himself, "This is going to be my new home." A one-room apartment on Christophstrasse was his new home. He shared it with other athletes, such as Franco Colombo. It was hard to get money. He didn't mind sleeping in a storage room at the gym sometimes. He was at last in the right place. He was a gym teacher at Schillerstrasse 36 and made just enough money to live on. The tools were old. There wasn't much room. But it worked out great for Arnold. It let him get in. He enjoyed it a lot. He worked out every day for 5 to 6 hours. Not an excuse. He worked out his weak spots, like his legs, thighs, and arms, doing up to 60 sets of hard work each time. He slept for 10 hours every night. There is no smoking or drinking, just rules. His apartment neighbors were also lifters. They worked out together. They both had side jobs and helped each other out. It was more than just a place to lift weights. At the gym, it turned into home. Then the big step forward came. Arnold won Mr. Universe in London in September 1967, when he was only 20 years old. He had lost the last time he tried. Dennis Tinerino is a favorite in the United States. This time, though, he beat him. Bodybuilders all over the world were shocked by the wind. Arnold had the best size, form, and stage presence of anyone. He posed for a picture without a shirt on in the snow when he got back to Munich. It wasn't cold to him. He wanted to be seen. It wasn't over after that win. It was the start. Arnold won Mr. Olympia 7 times and Mr. Universe 5 times. But people around the world knew about it already. His ways of training were both extreme and controversial. Arnold thought that working out too much was bad, while others stuck to short, organized workouts. He worked out his shoulders and back in the morning and his legs, calves, and abs in the evening, 6 days a week. In the morning, I worked on my shoulders, arms, and triceps. At night, I did more work on my calves and abs. During the off-season, he put on 20 to 30 pounds, making him 255 pounds. People told him he would burn out, but he didn't. He kept pushing, because he thought muscles had to be shocked in order to grow. The growth did not happen all by itself, of course. Arnold has said that he has been using steroids, mostly Dianabol and testosterone, since he was in his late teens. He said it was done with the help of a doctor, and in small amounts. A week of 100 milligrams of testosterone and 3 mg of Dianabolid A, he said. It wasn't illegal to use steroids back then, and the society around them was very different. Still, some of his old gym buddies said he used more than he admitted, and that he let other people try it. Arnold never lied about being perfect, but he told it like it was. He had a heavy accent and only $20 in his pocket when he got off the plane in October 1968. Bruce Lee was only 21 years old. He wasn't very good at English. He did not know the way of life. He did know one thing, though. He wished to do well in the United States. He was born in a small town in Austria right after World War II. He grew up poor and had to deal with strict rules and cold winters. He was already Mr. Universe by the time he was 20. That wasn't enough, though. The dream was America. His dream began when he was 10 years old. His early years were hard. He didn't know how to read menus or slang. A lot of people laughed at him, but bodybuilders liked him. He was given food, blankets, and even a TV by strangers. He stayed with Joe Weider, who put on the biggest bodybuilder shows and was paid just enough to train full-time. Arnold will never forget how nice that person was. He said a lot of times that he wasn't by himself. After only 2 years at age, 23, he became the youngest winner of Mr. Olympia ever. It seemed like he always won. He couldn't be beat from 1970 to 1975. He beat greats like Lou Ferrigno and Sergio Oliva. Arnold won the whole thing, even when Mr. Olympia tried to divide it up into weight groups. He shocked everyone in 1980 by coming back to win his 7th title. His first win only gave him $1,000. The prize had grown to $25,000 by 1980. Just by playing, he helped the sport grow. Arnold didn't win just because he was big, though. He also used his mind. He got inside the minds of his competitors. He had breakfast with Lou Ferrigno before a big show and told him he looked almost ready, which made Ferrigno question himself. Just hours before the show, it worked. Lou stopped moving. Arnold never let these things happen by chance. He made fun of people, spread stories, and made his rivals think twice. He thought they didn't deserve to win if they couldn't handle the stress. Arnold did it like art, while other people just raised weights. People told stories about how big his 22-inch arms were. He worked out his arms several times a week with tough, high-volume workouts. He didn't just curl for hours, though. He concentrated hard and linked his thoughts to every move. He even turned his wrist just the right way to make the outside head of his biceps stand out. He didn't just want size. He also wanted shape, detail, and beauty. It was then the cameras came. Pumping Iron came out in theaters in 1977. Arnold became well-known and fitness became cool. But not everything in the movie was real. There were parts that were written, like the part about him skipping his dad's funeral, which wasn't even true. They made it look like two other lifters were competing with each other just for fun. Arnold wasn't bothered. He played both the bad guy and the smart winner. He put his weight on it. People talked about it, and it worked. They laughed at him. When he tried to get into acting, though, they didn't like his speech. They made fun of his name. He was even In the end, Joseph would say, "It all changed overnight. It was changing my body. I changed my mind. Now my life had turned around." Arnold and Joseph would become close over time, bonding through exercise and training, but those early days were terrible. Maria, on the other hand, was hurt in more ways than just being betrayed. The last two people she knew were Eunice and Sergeant Shriver, who died in 2009 and 2011. Her emotional base had already been shook. She was no longer married. She said it made her feel like she had lost her personality. "It hurt my feelings." She said, "It broke what was left of me." She felt sad, scared, angry, and ashamed all at the same time. In July 2011, she publicly asked for a divorce, saying that they could no longer get along. But the court case went on for a long time. After 10 years, the divorce wouldn't be completed until 2021. During that time, Maria looked for ways to get better everywhere she could. There's therapy, meditation, and even spirits and shamans. The end of the marriage wasn't just bad for the couple. It was a very public fall from glory. After the Kennedy legacy and the Hollywood scandal, Maria stood in the middle and tried to keep herself together. Arnold tried to come back. He had a small role in The Expendables in 2010. Fans went crazy, even though it was only shot in 2 hours. Seeing him with Stallone and Bruce Willis again brought back a lot of memories. He had a bigger part in Expendables 2, which came out in 2012. He came back. It looked like that, but he wasn't happy by the time Expendables 3 came out. He didn't like the writing and thought his role wasn't important. He left the 4th movie. His return did not pack the punch he had hoped for. It turned out that people had moved on. This was the action star of the 1980s. He was now 60 years old. People still liked him, but things had changed. He was no longer on top. After that, Terminator Genesis came out in 2015. Arnold went back to the part that made him famous. The price was huge, about $155 million. It was clear what the plan was: bring back the franchise and his star power. Things didn't go as planned. It opened to only $28.7 million in the U.S. It only made $44.2 million in America after 5 days. Wow, that was surprisingly low. It did better outside of the U.S., making $74 million, but it wasn't enough. It turned out to be one of the worst Terminator movies ever. Arnold's famous line, which is old but still useful, couldn't save it. The movie studios thought that China would take it, but people in the West were no longer interested. One thing became clear after the loss: the magic of Arnold's big-budget years could never happen again. But there were still bigger problems to deal with. A shocking story came out in the Los Angeles Times in 2003, right before Arnold ran for governor. Several women said he touched them inappropriately and behaved badly. When asked about it, Arnold said it was all made up. But in the Netflix documentary, series Arnold, which came out in 2023, he finally told the truth. Let go of all the reasons why, he told her. It wasn't right. Over the years, more than 15 women had come forward, claiming to have had similar events, some of which happened 30 years ago. He said sorry late, and it was a strong moment of reckoning. It didn't change the past, but it did show that even famous people have to face the truth at some point. It also had his own statement that he had a child with the housekeeper. And with that, he finally took responsibility for what he had been trying to hide. Schwarzenegger was in the news again in 2022, this time for a 4-car accident in Los Angeles. A black GMC Yukon and a red Toyota Prius crashed into each other on Sunset Boulevard. The SUV hit 2 other cars and rolled over the Prius. Arnold was okay. The woman in the Prius, Cheryl Augustine, wasn't, though. She hit her head and had blood in her brain. Her lawyer said that she was now forever unable to do things. She sued Arnold, saying he was driving carelessly. She said he wouldn't take blame. The LAPD didn't find any drugs or booze. Even so, the accident showed that one moment behind the wheel can change someone's life forever, and that fame doesn't protect you from civil court. Arnold did everything he could to stay close to all 5 of his children. Joseph Bina is one of them. As much as his affair hurt the marriage, he made sure to be a part of Joseph's life. The kids he had with Maria, Catherine, Christina, Patrick, and Christopher still show up with him at public events. He tells them all how great they are in conversations and online, and he celebrates their birthdays, big events, and accomplishments. He says that their friendship is great. While this was going on, Joseph made his own way. He was on Dancing with the Stars in 2022 and has been in a few small films. He was even on the cover of Men's Health. He has also done a triathlon and works as a real estate salesman. Though Joseph moves and looks like his father, he's set on making a name for himself in his own way. Another thing that hasn't healed is the gap between Joseph and his half-siblings. Joseph doesn't really know Catherine, Christina, Patrick, or Christopher, even though they all share the same father and were born 5 days apart. Neither Catherine nor he were invited to their wedding. He likes what they write online, but they don't return the favor. It's quiet but loud. He's still a sign of treason to them. And that quiet means a lot to Joseph. When the news came out, he and his mother had to leave their house. He knew as a child that he was a part of something bad that was never meant to be seen by the public. Arnold tries to bring them back together, but the mental scars are still very fresh. Joseph stands for a lie that caused a family to fall apart. Arnold has said over and over that this is his biggest regret, more than any movie, fail in politics. or bad business deal. He says it was the worst mistake of his life. He said, "You can't blame anyone else. Everyone was hurt by what I did." He told Maria, the kids, and the women who accused him of being inappropriate that he was sorry. He has tried to be better, but it has already cost him. He says he never wants Joseph to feel like he's not wanted, because he did something wrong. Arnold may have said the truth there, because even though his muscles, movies, and fame made him seem bigger than life, it was his mistakes that finally brought him down to earth.